we're jumping right in, you guys.
Xander, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Please start this off.
You're the sharer. Actually, you know what? It's not our guest.
Ladies first.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I understood it correctly. Basically, a woman, or I guess like a man is like, a man has what a woman is looking for, but she doesn't.
She friends on him.
Yes. And then like the man that maybe doesn't have all the qualities is the one that she wants. Is that the base?
Yep. And then she wants all the qualities that...
They lost me with the references. I couldn't follow along.
So pretty much, Clark Kent has all the good stuff that people look for in a partner. So whatever that is for you. Superman is the bad boy, the he's wild, he got some spice to him. Like, what is it? And then she gets with Superman, and now she wants Clark Kent's qualities in Superman. So she wants the best of both worlds. So that's where we unpack.
So I think, yes, I think women tend to do that. I think it's a very toxic trait on our behalf. I don't know why we do it. I think it's a matter of like, I can change him, or like if I have the right, or like he has this, it's not like a skill deficit. He has like the ability to do it. He just needs the right woman to like get it out of him, kind of thing. I think it's like a way of us not controlling, but maybe just like he just hasn't found the right woman. So like I can get it out of him, kind of thing. Okay. Like, so it's not.
That's a good take.
I think it's like it's not like a skill deficit that they have. It's more of just like, it's in there. I
can teach him.
Yes, like I can shape it up.
Yes.
See? That's
He's rough around the edges.
Analysis. I can shape it up. I can like make it kind of come up, kind of thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No.
So women are kind of like groomers.
No, not kind of. She's exactly describing what a groomer is.
We think that we can shape up behavior. I think we can shape up behavior if we do it the right way.
Key word. She said, I think we think.
This is grooming.
If you know how to do it, you can shape up behavior.
Ew.
But not everyone knows how to do it though. And then you end up in a really shitty situation.
So let's, 1 second.
Unpack it, Xander.
Not unpack it. I just want to.
Love it.
Vice versa this. Imagine me saying this about a woman.
Yep.
I can change her. I can make her this. I can do whatever. Women, especially feminists, will have a field day with me. One, because it's like you said, even though you're not saying you're trying to control the man, this sounds like you're trying to stay in control. Meaning you want to change that man to your liking. So it's like, I kind of like what you got going on, but not fully. Let me show you how I can fully like you by you being this way. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
I think men do it subtly. I think sometimes men will, like, I mean, I've been married for a while, so what do I know about dating now? But I think that sometimes, like, men will do it with women that are not emotionally available. Like, if you come across a woman who maybe has, like, trust issues or isn't, like, fully about the commitment, you're like, oh, you just haven't dated a man like me yet, kind of thing. And I think sometimes like a woman might take that as like egotistical, but it's also their way of trying to shape up the behavior of you have this skill, like you have this ability to do this thing, but you like it just hasn't been
refined.
Provoked by the right person.
It's a great
kind
take.
of thing.
Oh, okay, I understand that take. The way I'm seeing it is, I am bringing in I don't know how to say this. It seems that this is a positive more than me. Let me show you how to do something. If I'm going into a relationship and you're saying that I'm going to be the guy it's going to be faithful, it's going to be the guy that you want me to be, what exactly is it that you can show me? I'm just trying to figure out exactly, because I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to find words to explain this correctly. Because it still sounds like you're trying to control something that I don't have. So how is it that, what can you do to let me figure it out? What are you trying to say? Let me guide you. Because if somebody tells you, let me guide you to where you're supposed to be, true or false, would you feel some type of way? Would you feel like,
sure,
hey, I can guide myself?
I guess it depends on the topic. So if what they're trying to change is faithfulness, right? So if the thing that the person that like the woman is trying to change in her Superman is like he's unfaithful, then I think she will try to be the best woman possible so that he doesn't feel the need to go to somebody else, right? So like she will make sure that she cooks him 3 meals a day and like does his laundry or like whatever, so that she's like, well, he doesn't have to go to Sally because like I'm Sally times 3. You know what I mean? Like
I get it.
I love Sally,
But
that's a great name.
I need to hear you guys on this. I get what you're saying. To me, that has nothing to do with what the guy is still ultimately is gonna do. You could be
1,000%.
You could be, I'll cook you this, I give you anything you want.
1,000%.
If the guy's still gonna do whatever he wants to do, and he got, because of that, whatever happens at work, outside of work, whatever, it still depends on who the guy is, no matter what you do as a woman.
Absolutely.
Personally. So
1,000%.
So with that being said, then why is it that women feel that I could still, I don't want to say change them, but in a way that's what it sounds like.
It is change. I don't know. I genuinely think it's like this mindset of, you know, I can, I don't know, like I can bring it out of him. Like I can, I don't know.
So it doesn't seem like it's coming from a bad place. I sense that, right? It's like you're, the goal is not to control, as again paraphrasing, the goal is not to control as much as it's extracting gold, right? Like pulling, or, you know, pulling from within something better than what's there currently, which I guess is cool, right? You know, because like every partnership should be like, let's build each other up, right? If we all win, if we all do better. But there's like, I think, a way to do it where it doesn't feel like I'm doing the puppeteering, right? Because
how?
I think it has a lot to do with communication.
Absolutely,
honestly,
yes.
Because like I'm thinking about my own personal experience, and I know how I receive critique.
Yes.
Well, and I know how I receive critique poorly. And so if you come
That's
at me a certain type of way,
yes, right,
nothing you say is going to come through.
Exactly.
Come at me right or don't.
Correct.
Like, just don't. And that I think is where like fruit can be born.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
By the way, I was playing the devil's advocate. So
Totally.
I wanted to hear what you think was the answer, and I believe that's right there is the answer. But going back to it, I wanted to make sure, because let's be realistic. When it comes, it's very easy to hear that from a woman's perspective, but when a man says that, he does get attacked. He does, like, who do you think you are to control the woman? You got to let her. Yeah. So that happens a lot with men.
Well, I guess it really comes down to the conversation. Like if you use the word control, that already is a red flag. That sounds.
Well, that's what we kind of agree on, in a way that in a way you're trying to control the situation. Because you're trying to have that person.
You can use a different word.
What's the
word? Build. I want to build you up.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, I'm looking at a little differently. Like I'm gonna just in a different scenario, like a realistic one. Let's say I were to date like a single mother, or a woman that has a history of being in crap relationships. Okay. Already, that woman's gonna have notions and experiences that will either trigger past experiences, or whatever, just based on her history. Now, where it comes into play is the conversations like, hey, I really like you. I think there's potential here, but I think, there's a lot of things that we can work on together to make this work. And those things can be like, whatever it is, whatever that thing is. My question is, like, where do you draw the line of like, let's work towards this, whatever this is, whether it be controlling or whatever. And then when do you be like, I tried.
Yeah.
I'm cutting my losses here. And I feel like a lot of people
Don't know where to cut their losses.
Don't know where to cut their losses. Like they always have, they hold on to that hope. Oh, but this person's a good guy, is a good girl. Oh, this person cheated on me. I'm gonna get my get back, and then we're good for a little bit again. So I think the bigger thing is like, where do you really like look at and like, you know what? It's not worth it anymore.
I think from a woman's perspective, the drive that keeps them going is the idea of like, I can do it. Like I can be the one to like change them. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then you're motivated by some good days.
Yes.
And then it's trash. But keep going.
Yep. What's that movie?
Hey, man.
What's that movie? Oh my God. What's that? The movie where they have like, it's like 3 or 4 different couples. Think Like a Man. Or
maybe there's a couple.
Be Like a Man or something like that.
Give me a little bit more. There's a couple movies that are similar to that are.
This is gonna be really terrible, but the guy that has like the really nice eyes is in it.
That Kevin Hart was in it. Kevin Hart was in it.
Yes.
Think like
It was based off of Steve Harvey's book.
Yes, Think Like a Man.
Yes,
great movie.
So there was like a guy on there that was a total dick. Like he was like your typical, like I'm gonna cheat on you. I have like 6 girls at the same time, whatever. And the woman was like hell bent on being the one that would hold him down. Like, I'm going to make him into a husband. Like, I'm going to be the one that, like, does it. And it's a movie, so she ends up doing it. But, like, realistically speaking, I think in the real world, it kind of turns out in a way that you said of, like, we have our good days. So she's like, see, we're going in the right direction. Like, everything is good. And then she finds somebody else in his phone. Or, like, he ends up getting caught in another way or something like that. And then she's kind of back to, like, well, should I not? No. I'm going to be the one to change him. So I think it's like motive, like there's some reinforcement there with the good days that happen.
That sounds difficult.
And I think the other thing to add to that, I think when you're also in the thick of it, I think you also lose sight of like reality and perspective. You're like,
you don't have any.
You're like, I'm still working. I'm still doing this. And you don't realize maybe you cut it off, and then later on you reflect. You're like, man, I was wild to really like try, like continue trying. Like there's an extent of like you don't know where that cutoff is. I mean, you look back, you're like, I should have cut it off a long time ago.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you guys. Like I've said this before. Like I don't think I would have gotten a divorce. I probably would have just stayed married. Out of complacency, out of not wanting to rock the boat, out of lack of perspective. Like there was a million reasons why it was easier to just like stay together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like the amount of stuff that I've learned since then, like I can't even try to articulate. Like
I 1,000% agree with that. That's the reason why I said it. I'm like, you look back and you're like, man. I was wilding to like, I'm not even like talking about from like casting blame or whatever, but like the situation itself is just like
unhealthy.
No, yeah, it's not. I don't think it has to do with casting blame. I think, like you said, it's unhealthy and is ultimately for your benefit.
Yeah, but I think like in this situation that we just heard, I think the biggest thing is understanding like where to draw the line. Like how do you figure out where to draw the line? And like, do you use external sources, like whether it be counseling or whatever, or the friend, the group chat, which who knows, depending on who's in your circle, because there's some people that have friends that are nothing. Like there's some people that they're friends. If you go to like, I'm sure all of us can think of a friend that we have that you don't go to that person for like certain advice because you know it's going to be like.
Yep.
A lot of people don't really grasp that. You gotta have people in your circle.
I think on the flip side of that though, you put a lot of fucking effort into relationships. Like you invest time and you invest resources and you like, you give yourself to somebody else, but then also your shit just becomes so intertwined that like I think to think of like, this ends and then what? You know what I mean? Like now where do I go? I think a lot of people are afraid of that. Like afraid of that stance of I can't start from nothing again, you know? Like that's scary. So I think that's also something that might be motivating to people to like keep trying, because complacency is better than having to start over.
Dating's trash.
Okay. So yes,
Nope.
I tell my husband all the time, if we ever separate, I'm fucking done. I'm a nun. Like I am, like don't look at me.
Dating
don't
is
even think about it, because
trash.
like I cannot imagine doing this shit in 2023.
Nowadays.
How long have you been married?
7 years.
How long have you been in your field of work?
6.5.
Okay. So I can imagine in the event that you had to start dating again, your thought process of all that would be crazy, because you focus on behavior. So that's got to be wild to just meet someone for the first time. You're like, in your head, like I'm sure it's like automatic. It's like, oh, it's a little red flag, but let's continue talking here.
It happens now. It happens now. Side story. I went out with my best friend for her birthday. We went to a bar in Springfield, and I'm waiting for her because we drove in separate cars. And this guy approaches me and he's like, "Do you play sports?" And so in my head, I'm like, fuck. Like, I was not giving off talk to me vibes. Like, I had my back to everybody. My face was in my phone. Like, I'm not trying to be personable. Like, I gave off all the vibes of like, leave me alone. He ignored them and came over anyway. And so I was like, no, I don't play any sports. And he's like, you sure you don't play basketball? And I'm like, I'm positive I don't play basketball. And he's like, oh, you have broad shoulders. And I'm like,
that's the way
the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, no, you have broad shoulders. And I'm like, sorry? And he's like, oh, what a waste of good shoulders. Wow. I was like,
wow,
the fuck?
That was kind of a compliment.
I was like, who hurt you? Like, it wasn't me.
That was a compliment.
Let me start off with it wasn't me. And like, I just like, and he came back a couple more times and I'm like, you insulted my shoulders. They were sitting here minding their own business, holding my arms up, like not doing anything to you. But like, I could never. Like, who the fuck? Like, I could never.
That's wild.
That is wild.
I could never.
That's cringy.
I like texted my husband and I was like, I would fucking die if I had to do this shit like 24/7 to try to find somebody. Like, who?
That's wild.
Wild.
I did not see that coming.
Me either.
Wild.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with my shoulders. They're fine. And so I told my friend when she came in, she was like, what? And I just cannot.
I have a sidebar to that. It's related. Do you get compliments, Shannon, when you're out and about?
I do.
What kind of compliments you be getting?
I'll tell you, I got the weirdest compliment the other day. It was weird because it was a good compliment, but you don't hear it often.
Okay.
So I'm going to an appointment. I'm doing pictures of a house somewhere, and my client introduces me to the seller that's the owner of the house. Hey, I'm Shannon. And she's like, oh, hey. She listened to me. She was like, oh, you look happy.
It's the grace of God, baby.
And I'm like, but you don't hear that often. So it kind of like, I was like, oh, I am. Okay. So I was like,
It is, yeah, not a common one.
it's not common.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to respond. I was like, I am?
yeah, that's a weird
Happy.
one. That's a weird one. But hey, man, that's a great compliment.
I guess, yeah. It was random. It was random.
Your countenance was bright.
My countenance.
Countenance. Okay.
The weirdest compliment I was in high school. Weirdest compliment I got was this girl. She's my friend on Facebook. Hopefully she doesn't watch it. I doubt it. She's a lingy. She was
I love you all.
fired.
she said, "Oh my God, I love your bracelet, your retainer."
Get out. She did not say that. What?
She was like, "Oh my God, I love your retainer."
Get out.
I'm like,
Nah,
You're
she
lying.
definitely wanted the penis. Some way, somehow. There's no way.
I clowned her after that. I'm like, my retainer? What the heck?
She was reaching.
Yeah,
for
she wanted
something.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Weird.
I mean,
How about you? What's a compliment you get?
I don't really feel like I get. I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna lean into this, right? I consider myself like a pretty positive person, generally speaking. Like I try to like output positive energy, And so like I will, if I see something dope, I will go out of my way to compliment somebody. So like I saw a dope jacket, like some guy was just wearing some real crisp ass outfit with like, hey man, I like your jacket, bro. Like I'll just say whatever. Like somebody's hair looks nice. Hey, your hair looks great. You know, like, and I just do that from time to time because I feel like, especially men, like we never get compliments, you know? And so I always go out of my way to like, oh, you see somebody put in some extra effort, like somebody who's got a crisp beard lineup. Yo, nice lineup, bro. Cause I know how like it is a pain in the ass to have a, you know, so like I see you, bro. You know what I mean? Like obviously there was effort put in to get the lineup to look the way it did. I don't know, man. I don't really like random compliments. It's usually just.
I'll tell you what. Don't use this to analyze me. I'm in sales, and I've learned to disarm people with complimenting them, complimenting something, especially like if it's a cold interaction. It's like, hey, you know, I really like your hair. Blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
It just a little subtle.
Oh, this?
Yeah, like either that or like, oh, like it's whatever. It just it turns so quickly, and then they just brighten up immediately. It's like, oh,
No, so see, rabbit hole. Studies show
Let's go.
that complimenting someone like gives them positive like neurotransmitters in their brain.
Yes, it does.
And so they like their guard is down. So like where typically someone would be approached by a salesperson and be like, oh, salespeople, like whatever. If you like compliment them, they're more likely to like kind of put that guard down and be more receptive to
it
what
works
you're
every
saying.
time.
Yeah, because like they're getting dopamine to their brain.
Now, conversely, if I were to,
Sorry.
No,
no, I like it. I like
love
it.
it.
I like it.
If we could have you here all the time with just like, actually, guys.
I love it. She just
love the data.
nerded out.
Yeah.
I did.
Real time.
It was good.
I love it. But
Sorry.
conversely to what you were saying, I don't know if I'm using it properly.
Malicia.
I don't know either. So go ahead.
My history of like, I haven't done this in years, but when I used to go out clubbing and I was gonna make my move on a woman, there would be no compliment in sight.
You would just go for it.
My thought process, most of the times, I'd be probably approaching a pretty woman, a traditionally pretty woman.
Okay.
So my thought process was like, all these dudes in here are probably already telling her how bad she looks. I'm not gonna do it.
You're not that guy. No. You've already gotten it from everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I go a different way about it. But I'm not gonna buy a drink. I'm not gonna compliment.
Okay. Let's see, Shannon. Out
And it
there.
worked.
It's worked.
Just
I haven't done it as a mature adult. I'm talking about this was like when I was 18, 19, 20, 21.
Man.
But it
Did you
might
go
be
to clubs
different
around
now.
here?
No, not growing up.
I just,
No.
I wasn't sure if you were like localish to the wild Springfield streets.
I think I go more now with friends. Like I'm always at like Dewey's or Theodore's
Sure.
with like my friends.
Yeah.
Let me clarify my one statement before I get crucified here. This is if I'm approaching a woman that I never met. If I already spoke to you and we're going on a date, it's different. But if we're like at a bar and I'm gonna, that's the situation.
Yeah,
I'm
a
about.
cold open's always hard, but like I mean certainly like if it really depends on the environment, man. It really does, because like, and I know we've talked about this a little bit, but like just being able to just say what you're thinking out loud to the room sometimes, just to see what happens. Just test it out. Nothing? All right. I'll give you an example. Just a short example. Renting a car, it's late. It's like 11 p.m. Big ass line, and everybody's waiting in line. And there's two people at the register. And there's some light conversation going throughout the line, but generally like an annoyance energy in the room. This sucks. And so like there's this like feeling of like, are we waiting in line for no reason?
Where was this?
This was Maryland. I was renting a car. I needed it for work.
Okay.
So I just, after being in line for 10 minutes and nothing really happening and it feeling just like doomsday, I'm like, hey, are we waiting in line for no reason? Like I just said it out loud. And then there was a couple guys who's like, oh yeah, there's only 2 of them on and there's no cars, and kind of like gave me like a doomsday results basically. Like basically buckle up, this is the worst case scenario and you're here. And I was like, oh, all right, well, just making sure. And sure enough, 2.5 hours go by, right? I was there for a long time, but besides the point. I'm like further up in line at this point, and here comes another guy from way in the back. Yeah, hi. Basically asking the same question that I asked. Like, I don't want to wait in line if it's pointless. Just tell me now so that I can make a decision, right? So that's all it was. So the moral of the story is say things out loud, aka when you're in person at a club, just try it out, see what happens. You never know what'll happen.
Yeah.
Again, my whole thing is like if I'm at a public place, I'm definitely gonna either real quick small talk and then dip. I like doing that. That's my favorite shit. Talk to somebody.
Do the Irish goodbye.
I just met you. We had a like quick interaction. All right, man. I'll talk to you later, Pete. And then just bounce. Do not extend the conversation. Just you had a moment, and then you're done, and you move on.
You're better than me.
Why? What do you do?
I avoid social interaction. It's so bad.
Altogether?
Yeah, I'm super introverted. Like I don't enjoy people. I think they're exhausting.
I understand it.
Like the semantics that go into small talk.
Yes.
Fucking wild.
Yes.
And so I cannot do it. I think that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I think that's why I people watch, because it's so much easier. Like you just look and that's it. But like having to sit and talk, and then I have to be like, is the weather appropriate, or like do we talk about work, or no? How about we just don't talk at all?
So Bitcoin, huh?
To all of my coworkers, I'm
puedo.
sorry,
No
but I
puedo.
agree with this lady right here to my right. If you try small talk with me, you find like, what is wrong with this guy? I'm not good at it. I'm sorry.
Well, what do you mean you're not good at it?
I've been in multiple situations with coworkers when it's like, hey, what's up? How you going? How you doing? Good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just, I'm not the person to keep a conversation going.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Sure. Good for you. I'm not the person.
Topic. Doesn't mean that I like it, but
Hey, what's up? Nothing much. How was your weekend? It was great. Actually, what about this, that, and the other? And boom. Not me.
You know what it is? I mean, this is maybe it's not Shannon, but would you agree, Shannon, that it's essentially ad-libbing? Conversational in public places, you're just ad-libbing, right? You're it's jazz.
it's jazz. You gotta have some witty banter to keep it interesting.
Right. And
Eye
you're
contact.
just summoning on the stuff that you know. Or, I'm sorry, drawing from the stuff you know.
Yep.
Right. So like,
Or if I don't know about the topic, I ask probing questions to like hopefully I can ask you enough questions that by the end of your sentence I can have a better understanding to find my next question.
Sure. This all sounds
But like,
great.
why would that's so exhausting?
I agree.
I cannot.
I agree.
Like, that's so much mental energy that I
agree,
don't care to give
But
people.
like I learned this because of work. Like I had
Sure. I
to
get
deal
it.
with people.
Yes.
Like I used to be a huge extrovert, but in being in sales for so long and dealing with people, I became an introvert because I worked in retail for years in sales. That my day, from when I clock in and clock out, I'm talking to people, small talk central, all day, like kissing, like shaking hands, kissing babies. That I would drive home with the radio off in pure
Complete
silence. Like I would silence. I would get home. I'll go to the bathroom, sit on the toilet for another 30 minutes. Like I just need quiet for like the next hour and a half, 2 hours. So it got to that point. But before, I used to just be like, before like work, like when I was in high school and college, I would talk to anybody, start a conversation. We'll be waiting in line. It's like, oh, anything. Now I'm just like,
yeah.
Don't make eye contact.
but like in the, like I still have to, like depending on like where I'm at.
Sure.
So I think I'm an extrovert, a trained extrovert.
That's a good way to put it.
Extrovert. Because I used to be an extrovert.
Extrovert.
But whatever.
Yeah.
But it is there is a cadence. There is the semantics behind it. It is exhausting if you do it a lot.
Yeah.
Especially like I used to have to go to networking events. I mean, I still do kind of. In those networking events, I remember my first one. I felt like my first time I went to the club. First time I went to the club, I went in there and I was standing by the wall just looking at people. Yep. Wasn't dancing, wasn't doing anything. My first networking event, same thing. I did the mistake of going by myself. I didn't know anybody, so I didn't have that safety blanket of like knowing someone. So I was just in there like, until I was like, I'm here, like I have to be here for 2 hours, so I either make the best of it or I go home talking to nobody. So I started going up to people, hey, I'm Shannon, what do you do? Whatever. So I did it. It's just, you'd be surprised. People just talk back.
I guess it's, I appreciate the yin and yang that we have here though, right? Because it's, people look at the world through their own lens. And all we can do is try to make the best of it, to try to understand each other. I mean, I've known you long enough, right? And like, I say we have similar tastes, but we don't have similar personalities. Like, we're very different persons, but like there's a yin and yang to that, right? There's always this balance, and maybe that's all it is, right? So going back full circle to the Superman thing of like trying to find the happy medium. Well, Superman is the alpha, and then Clark Kent is just like the nerdy guy who got friend zoned, right? Like the marriage of that is really the ideal person, right? The same way that we would like maybe perhaps an attractive woman who's also not dumb, right? Like, somebody with intellect. You know what I mean?
Say what you mean, Rick.
It's a swinging pendulum. Sometimes it goes, hey, give me a break. What? Okay, so what should I say? Should I have said Wonder Woman and not
Say how you want to say it, man.
I'm just enjoying your conversation.
Pretty and dumb, which that's an archetype. There's a lot of women like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of guys.
He
like
actually said pretty and not dumb. Just to be clear.
Not dumb.
Yeah, that's key.
Oh, right. Smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
But keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt you.
Nope.
Those are unicorns.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's true.
They are.
It's true. Rare breed, just like the Superman /
Well, not
better.
pretty, not dumb, and like not that crazy.
Not pretty, not dumb, and
I said
not that
I said
crazy.
pretty,
Oh, pretty.
not dumb, and not that crazy. That's the
trifecta.
trifecta. Because you either got someone that's really pretty and dumb and crazy, or like it's a
You can have two. You can't have all three.
yeah. You got to pour water into the bucket that you want, and it's
what is the equivalent of a guy? So us is pretty, not too dumb.
Yeah,
Or not dumb. Sorry.
Yeah. It's got to be like it's looks, brains, and like attitude, or is it attitude like crazy? The craziness factor. Those are the three. I feel like those are the three criteria that guys look for.
So for a guy, this is kind
You
of
have to be smart. Like,
So-
I have to be able to
Have a good conversation.
Like, you have to like stimulate me mentally. Like, I
smart
need
is
something.
first.
Yeah. I think you have to have like a personality in terms of you can't be
Personality?
like
Okay.
bland. Like I'm not like a super spontaneous person. I like order and like to know what's gonna happen. Because that's a little bit of my OCD.
So you don't like surprise birthday
I
parties.
fucking hate them. It is my husband is like a grand gesture guy. Like he's like, here's all the flowers and all the things all at once in front of people. Like, and it, like, I love him, but it makes me sweat. Like my hands get sweaty
Is it
whenever.
all the attention?
Yes, I would rather be like the person in the back that like nobody sees. Like I'm here, but I don't have to be here, kind of thing. Versus he's like, Jalissa's here, and it makes me sweat. But like, so not to like that extreme, but like you need to be able to like, I don't know, just have a personality. That's mine.
That's the main one. That's the main one.
Yeah.
smarts and personality.
Yeah.
I think I kind of agree.
Where would you say?
Wait, okay, go ahead.
Smarts and personality, like in a woman, like
Yeah.
No, I get it, but you just said it was. I thought it was looks,
Those are the three factors I feel like people look at: the looks.
Oh, people! I thought you were talking about
No,
you.
I think in general. I think guys.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking about yourself. My bad. Okay, gotcha.
I think guys look at those three things.
What about you then? Let's get a little more personal. You.
I need her to be smart. So I do it. This is my order. I need her to be smart, pretty, and not that crazy. Those are the
What's your that? Like, what's the craziest thing she can do? Like, where do you draw your line?
I don't know. I guess.
Oh God.
I'd have to see. I'd have to see what it is. Give me an example and I'll tell you. I don't know.
Wow.
Because I've seen spectrums of crazy.
It's like pajamas to Walmart.
That's wild. I don't think that's necessarily crazy, but I'm like, really don't.
I'm not dating you. That's
okay. See,
I'm not dating.
That's a hard line. Yep.
Pajamas
We wear
to Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm not dating you.
It's a
Period.
low bar.
Call me whatever you want.
Why?
I'm not dating you. Sorry. When it comes to like not that crazy, it's like, hey, somebody bought you lunch today? She'll show up on my job. Who was that lady that bought you lunch? Like if she finds out that somebody bought me lunch or brought me lunch at work, not that crazy will be my wife will show up at work just to find out who was that lady that brought me lunch.
That's crazy. I'm all set.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm all set.
Are you saying you would be okay with that, or are you saying that's where you draw your line?
That's when it's like, that's that. She's kind of crazy.
okay.
Not
She's
that
kind of
Okay.
crazy. That's crazy, bro. If she's showing up to work to see who it was,
There's nothing happening. She wants to know who it is.
but still, that's not
By the
kind
way,
of crazy.
this is a hypothetical. It hasn't not
no,
happened.
I know, but
I'm just
saying
that's what I'm saying. It's like kind of crazy. Like she didn't.
I think Shannon's saying
that's full crazy. That's not kind of
That's
crazy.
fine.
crossed
That's
the
fine.
line.
Some people might find like full crazy will be like, I'm gonna whoop her ass when I see her.
Right. It's
That to
outside.
me, that's to me like right. That to me is crazy. To me, it's kind of crazy. I just want to know who she is.
So let me drive
That's-
over to where you're working.
I get it. I get it.
Regardless, I think that's
Listen,
No matter for me,
I get it.
that's crazy.
All right.
I'm just trying to throw
Agree to
So
disagree.
you have a line. You draw your line.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Don't show up at my job.
Don't show me.
Yep.
I understand the question. I was like, hey, who bought you lunch? Like, I get it, kind of.
Have you ever had a lady buy you lunch? A married lady. Let's put it that way. He's not even married. A lady with a significant other.
Maybe. Yeah.
I just saw this question online on social media. Is buying somebody else lunch when you have a significant other cheating?
No.
Cheating?
Give me context.
Cheating's crazy.
Give me context.
So
Oh
You're in a
my God.
business.
Here
Are
we go.
listen. I'm just going by what this question is. I wish I can find it again. I feel like I have to. So you are involved with somebody,
Sure.
and you're at work. I'm gonna get some food, and you're the secretary. Hey, you want me to get you some lunch? And sure, get me a blah blah blah. I come back and get you some lunch. So me as a guy who's have significant other buy you lunch, is that considered cheating buying somebody else?
Oh my God. Absolutely not.
No.
That's very mild.
But I also think that there
Go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna
obviously
find the
there's
question. Just see if that
there's
could be-
context. I mean, I guess
Certainly.
if there's history, that's all different.
Yeah.
But for the way you
There's
exactly
like variables to it.
the way you said it,
So now it depends.
I don't-
Is that what you're saying? It depends on the
think-
person.
I think the details matter.
Yes, I think if it's like a random Tuesday and I happen to be going to Chipotle and I know you like Chipotle and I'm gonna be like, do you want some? Like, I think that's
Yes.
different than like.
I agree.
I'll tell you what. This, like, let's say my girlfriend, she told me, oh, Joe Schmo bought me lunch today. He was, whatever. Oh, cool. I don't think, whatever.
Okay.
Day 2 comes along. Oh, Joe Schmo bought me lunch again. Okay. Day 3, Joe Schmo. Who's Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Right. So can I just ask the question? Here's the question. Is it cheating buying a woman I work with some breakfast? That's the question.
No.
I'm just, again, the comments.
Context.
Context matters.
Okay. The comments, damn near everybody was like, yep, you better believe what? If you're not telling your girl that that's cheat. Every single comment has been pretty much yes. I'm just going by why.
I think context matters in this case.
Let me just read one comment.
Not enough
Did
data.
you buy your girl breakfast first? And if you gotta ask us already, then you know damn where the answer, bro.
She's mad. Somebody, yeah.
I'm just going by why. So it seems that if you guys found out your significant other was buying somebody else breakfast without your significant other telling you, you guys will be okay.
Wait, ask that again. Ask that again.
You found out that your girlfriend is buying Carlos and the department breakfast every Tuesday and Thursday. She didn't tell you. You found out.
Every Tuesday.
That's different. That's different.
All right, no,
that's different.
God, all right.
So wait. I think if it becomes habitual like that, then like
all
let's
right,
have
not
a
habitual.
conversation.
No, not habitual.
I said, if it's a random Tuesday and like you really like Chipotle, I got you.
Okay.
Like why not? It's a rice bowl.
By the way, I'm just reading the question. I'm not being the person who's like,
Yeah.
you're cheating.
Now, where it can be kind of looked on crazy, we're talking about in the work setting. But now let's say you take this coworker to breakfast before you go to work. That's different. That's different. That's completely different. That's completely different.
That's very personal.
That's very personal. Now I can understand the backlash behind that.
Absolutely.
But face value, is it cheating to buy another girl breakfast? Face value, no.
Okay. Rick, you said no, right?
No, I'm with that.
That's
I'm
fine.
with that. I think context is everything in that situation. Like, if I'm going about my business and I'm working with my peers, and if I felt like treating somebody to lunch, there's nothing to refer
I got you.
to.
So in general, no.
In general, no. It's only when it's like in the interest of there's like some behind the scenes stuff going on, right? Because like in that example, right? It's, do you go home every day and tell your significant other every single thing that you did on that day, every day, right? That's like the question, right? So every detail, I took Cindy to lunch today. Does that come up normally for that relationship? I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows, right?
I guess it all depends.
It all depends.
I think I've just lost exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say something amazing.
It's good.
But apparently it wasn't that amazing.
Clearly not.
I was going to tie it into something we talked about earlier. I just don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we started with Superman and Clark Kent. That was the origin.
Okay, you kind of got me there.
That was pretty good. I mean, we went really hard on that.
Now the crazy part about the question is, this is where the different dynamics of people come into play. So now let's say you bought breakfast for this girl and your girl doesn't know about it, whatever. Now you have to determine, like, does your girl have a past history of like being jealous or being cheated on, that any little thing that you do is going to trigger her? Like, not those variables come into play.
Escape
because
behavior. Escape behavior.
So then now it's
one more time.
Escape behavior.
Behavior.
Explain
So sometimes you end up engaging in a behavior to escape an aversive, right? So if you know that your girlfriend is like super jealous, you're not going to tell her because you're going to avoid the situation of having to like get into a back and forth with her, have to like, so she's essentially not going to take it well, and so you're just going to scratch that completely and just be like,
But most of the time, that's even worse because when she finds out, why'd you hide it? Mm-hmm. And then you're back to I didn't say it because I knew you were going to react this way. But it's like a circle. It's like, so it's there's a lot of variables, but I think it comes back to conversation. I mean, communication.
Always,
and it especially like it has to be effective communication, because for you, it could be no big deal. For her, it could be a huge deal. And if you go into a conversation minimizing the other person's thoughts and feelings, that's going to be bad.
Yep.
Relationship sucks.
You know what though? It's nice to have Jalissa, and again, like your insight is very valuable. It's very. I think it's enjoyable for us to just go like completely off the rails when we're talking shit when there's no females on, but it's really nice to have a balanced take to the stuff we're saying. I think for me, kind of bringing it back, the whole analogy of like the friend zone guy versus the Superman guy, and why women might want to put the reins on, you know, for lack of a better phrase. I think it does. It goes both ways, right? But we don't often articulate that point, right? Like, I might prefer X, Y, and Z the same way that my partner might prefer A, B, C, right? And I really want to see A, B, C out of you, but I'm not seeing it. So hopefully at some point through communication and whatnot and effort, we can bring that to the surface. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think, again, it's all coming back to balance, as cliche as that sounds.
Balance.
Yes,
Yeah.
that right there. I think for me personally, it has to do with who is the person that's gonna raise their hand and say, "I'm gonna be submissive to whatever it is that you." For example, if you're the woman that feels like I can change you, whatever that is, and if you're the guy, be like, "Okay, let's see what the," because there's some guys that was like, "Nah, hell no, you're not gonna change me. This is who I am. This is what I'm gonna eat." But there's some guys that be like, "I'm open to change because what I've done is not working. Let me see what I could do with," and usually that whenever you're open for change, in my personal opinion, in my personal experience, only good can happen. You know, when you are open for change. So I think it has to do with, because it could be the guy saying, "I think I can change this woman," even though some girls be like, "No, you're trying to control her." It was like, no, if she's willing to submit to whatever the changes that can be beneficial to her, what's the problem with that? So I think it all depends, like you said, the communication factor obviously is a big thing. But also, I think that because being submissive to somebody it's a huge step.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Chelsea, please.
go ahead.
I talk a lot.
No, it's fine.
Very simply put, I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of a partnership than like I'm relinquishing my will. Just to be clear, in my head, like that's the way that I can receive a critique.
I'm relinquishing.
Right. So
Wow.
like,
So you're
versus like, because like you're saying,
so you like having the
submitting.
control.
Submitting is like about like, right. It's a little bit of that versus like, let's partner and grow together.
I mean, we're talking about semantics here.
We are talking about semantics, but like words matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Relinquishing control sounds very hard
Well, that's
to
what
me.
submit
That's
sounds
what
like
submission
to me.
is.
Yeah.
So if you get to a point where what you have done is not working, I think there has to be a point which you have done. Because I had a conversation first, it was like, sometimes when do you look at yourself and go, maybe it's you.
All the time.
Maybe it's not what's going on, and hey, it's this, that. Maybe you stop pointing and you go, "What about you? Yeah. Who is taking accountability for? Are you taking accountability for yourself?" So, yes, that may sound harsher, but it is ultimately the same thing.
No, great point.
So I do understand what you're saying.
Just, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So 2 parts. I think my brain kind of breaks it down a little bit. So separate from a kind of like self-evaluation part, like it sounds like that's what you're saying, like when you kind of look within and are like, am I the problem? Separate from that, if you're gonna be in a relationship with someone, like to what extent is changing them not okay? You know what I mean? Like at what point is you do this, this, and this, but I need you to do this, this, and this? Like, at what point are you changing the essence of someone to like better fit what you want in them? And like, is that okay? Like, is that a premise for a relationship? Like, is that the foundation where you need to start of, you were like a 7, but you were missing some things and I kind of fixed you. You know what I mean? And again, separate from like the self-evaluation, I think everyone should, I am not perfect. I can be like super tunnel focused and like, I want what I want and I need something to like go after all the time. And like, sometimes that can be difficult to deal with. So like, I have learned and I have changed a lot and like have become flexible. And my students have taught me a ton of just like accepting flexibility of like, not everything has to be this way. Like this plan B is just as good as plan A. And like, that's totally fine. So I have done a ton of self-evaluation, but at what point is like, I need you to do this instead, like the premise for a relationship? And like, how successful will that relationship be? Because like, when is it enough?
That's a good point. And I guess it also matters, like, what is it that you're asking to change?
Yes.
Right.
Because
is it a fundamental part of who I am?
yeah.
Yes.
Or is it just a bad behavior?
Yes.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
like I think like infidelity, like how do you together, let's say you're going into a relationship with someone that has a history of infidelity, like how do you go into that and like, how do we work on this together? Because I feel like in a sense that can be a fundamental flaw to be unfaithful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, is it like, what is it? Like, how do you have that conversation?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah. That's crazy.
Listen, man, I love it. These are the kinds of conversations that I love to have, and again, great insight. Also, side benefit of having the female take was just like your analysis take, which was
Yes.
an additional layer, which is great. I love it.
Sorry.
No, it's great.
I
It's
can't
great.
like separate from
It's
it. Like it's how my
fantastic.
brain
We spoke about it
thinks at
before.
this point.
I was like, do we know any therapists that we can have like
That's
on
right,
the
we did talk
podcast?
about
Because
it,
I think it adds value to the conversations that we're having.
Agreed.
Especially your take on crazy people or behaviors.
Yep. My extent is autism.
Hey, it's a pretty serious one. I mean, so
We're gonna just throw all the behaviors under the umbrella. And
you're the expert now. Sorry, whether you like it or not.
I
Shannon,
can take that.
Should we land the plane?
let's land the plane.
Slowly, please.
Before we land the plane, I want to put a proposition to our 24 viewers. I want to start a segment.
48.
48.
On the most recent one. Hey, big numbers, you guys.
Moving up, guys.
we're moving
Moving up.
I wanna ask for content from you guys. I want to start a section where we discuss, and I do this privately with friends that I have. Women's inboxes are wild. If you have wild inboxes, can you screenshot them and send them to us?
Screenshot them.
You can block out the names and all that. We don't need the details. I want to know what these guys are saying in your DMs, because the stuff that I've seen, we got to expose some of y'all saying some cheesy stuff in the DMs. Like, for real. And I want to, if you got stuff in the DMs, send us a screenshot. We're going to talk about it.
We are going to talk.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, better not send mine, bitch. That's all I'm saying.
I'll give you $55 if you send one from Xander.
Such a specific number.
I feel like I had to do
It's
it.
on sale.
But other than that, man, we had a great episode. Jalissa, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
As always, I have been Shannon, got Rick, and then we have Mr. X.
His mouth is full, you guys.
Always.
Pause.
Wow.
Yep.
Follow us, like our page, share it with a friend, and tell your mama about us.
Word.
Other than that,
Peace out, guys.
peace, y'all.
Shout out to all my students. Peace. 8th grade.
Peace.